The Colombian national football team represents Colombia in international football competitions and is overseen by the Colombian Football Federation. It is a member of the CONMEBOL and is currently ranked third in the FIFA World Rankings. The team are nicknamed Los Cafeteros due to the coffee production in their country. Since the mid-1980s, the national team has been a symbol fighting the country's negative reputation. This has made the sport popular and made the national team a sign of nationalism, pride and passion for many Colombians worldwide. Colombia is known for having a passionate fan base. Colombia had its strongest period during the 1990s. A 1993 match resulted in a 5-0 win over Argentina, which began a special, mutual respect rivalry between both nations. The goalkeeper René Higuita achieved fame from his eccentric scorpion kick clearance against England at Wembley Stadium in 1995. Stars from Colombia's team included Carlos Valderrama and Faustino Asprilla. During this era, Colombia qualified for the 1990, 1994, and 1998 World Cups, only reaching the second round in 1990. Following the death of André Escobar after the 1994 World Cup, Colombia's team faded in the latter half of the 1990s. They were the champions of the 2001 Copa America, which they hosted, and set a new Copa America record of conceding no goals and winning each match. Prior to that success, they were runners-up to Peru in the 1975 Copa America. In total, Colombia has gained a top 4 result in 7 Copa Americas. Colombia was the first team to win FIFA Best Mover in 1993, where the achievement was first introduced, and the second team after Croatia to win it. Twice in 2012, Colombia missed 3 World Cups between 2002 and 2010. During the 2014 FIFA World Cup qualifiers, Colombia showed improvement over the 2011 Copa America, bringing its rank up to the top 10 for the first time since 2002 and into the top 5 consistently for the first time since 2004. After a 16-year-long wait, in 2014 Colombia finally returned to the World Cup, where they were able to advance to the quarterfinals, the furthest Colombia has ever made it in a World Cup. Colombia's midfielder James Rodriguez won 2 awards, the Golden Boot for most goals and best goal of the tournament. The 1962 FIFA World Cup match against the USSR finished in a 4-4 tie after Colombia had been down 4-1, making it one of the biggest comebacks in World Cup history. Early years Colombia played its first official matches at the 1938 Central American and Caribbean Games. The Colombian national football team was composed mostly by all the players of the club Juventud Bogotana. Alfonso Novoa was the manager of Colombia until the 23rd of February. The first game was played on the 10th of February 1938 against Mexico. Colombia was defeated 1-3. Luis Arguelles, Luis de la Fuente and Horacio Casares scored for Mexico. Marcos Mejia scored for Colombia. Colombia was able to obtain the bronze medal, with 2 wins and 3 losses. The same year Colombia played at the I-Bolivarian Games in Bogotá, where they were 4th with 1 win and 3 losses. Fernando Paternoster was the manager of Colombia, being the first foreign manager of the team. Colombia did not play again until 1945, when they participated for the first time at the South American Championship, where they were 5th. This time, Colombia was composed by players of Junior de Barranquilla, except for Antonio de la Hoz, who played for Sporting de Barranquilla, and Pedro Ricardo Lopez, who played for Boca Juniors de Cali. Roberto Melende was player and coach of Colombia throughout the tournament. The first match of Colombia in the professional era was played on 6 April in the 1949 South American Championship, a 3-0 defeat against Paraguay. The Austrian coach Friedrich Donenfeld was the manager of Colombia during the tournament. He had moved with his family to Colombia due to the Second World War, and Atletico Junior would be his first team as a coach. As Junior was chosen to represent Colombia in the tournament, he became the first European manager of the Colombia national team. However, the team repeated their losing streak since, as in the previous tournament, ended 8th with 2 draws and 5 losses, scoring 4 goals. After a withdrawal in 1938 and getting banned in 1954, Colombia participated for the first time in qualifying for the 1958 FIFA World Cup in Sweden. The first match was on 16 June 1957 against Uruguay in Bogotá. That ended in a 1-1 draw. Colombia lost the next matches, leaving them at the bottom of the group. At the 1962 World Cup, Colombia lost the first match 2-1 against Uruguay. Luis Kubler and George Sager scored for Uruguay at the 56th and 75th minute respectively, while Francisco Zuluaga scored a 19th minute penalty goal for Colombia. In the second match they got a 4-4 draw with the Soviet Union, champions of the 1960 European Nations Cup. It should be noted that in this game, Colombia scored 4 goals against Soviet goalkeeper Lev Yashin, widely considered the best goalkeeper in football history. Also in that game, Marcos Coll scored the only Olympic goal in World Cup history so far. Unfortunately, the Colombian campaign in 1962 ended with a 5-0 defeat against Yugoslavia, who end up in 4th place in the tournament. 1990's golden era. At 1990 World Cup, Colombia defeated United Arab Emirates 2-0, lost to Yugoslavia 1-0, and earned the place in the round of 16 after a 1-1 draw with West Germany, who would later win the cup. Colombia would be eliminated in the next match against Cameroon with a 2-1 defeat in extra time. For the 1994 World Cup, Colombia finished top of the qualifying group without having lost a match, which included a historic 5-0 win over Argentina in Buenos Aires. Expectations of the team were high, some even naming them as favorites to win the tournament. Colombia was assigned to the Group A with the hosts United States, Romania, and Switzerland. During the tournament, Colombia only earned 1 win and suffered 2 losses, which would eliminate it in the first phase. Colombia ended the qualification for the 1998 World Cup in 3rd place with 28 points, 2 points below Argentina, who was in 1st place with 30 points. Colombia was assigned to the Group G with Tunisia, England, and Romania. Romania obtains a 1-0 victory in the first match. Colombia's second match was a 1-0 win against Tunisia, with a goal from Lider Preciado. However, in the last match England won the game 2-0, with which Colombia was eliminated. 2001 Copa America. The 2001 Copa America was the first Copa America held in Colombia. Prior to the tournament, meetings were held by CONMEBOL authorities who were concerned about potential security issues in Colombia, and the tournament was cancelled on July 1, just 10 days before the first game. On July 6, CONMEBOL decided to reinstate the tournament, which was held on schedule. Canada had already disbanded its training camp and released its players, so Costa Rica were invited to the tournament, claiming that Argentine players had received death threats from terrorist groups. The Argentine Football Association decided to withdraw from the competition the day before the first game, with Honduras hastily invited and flown in by the Colombian Air Force to participate. There were no terrorist incidents within the competition. Colombia had a strong run through the tournament, winning the first Copa America title by beating Mexico with a goal from Ivan Cordoba in the second half. Depression era. For the 2002 World Cup, Colombia only managed to place 6th in the qualification round, tied with Uruguay but failing to qualify due to goal difference. Colombia would also eventually fail to qualify for the 2006 edition in Germany and for the 2010 World Cup, mainly because the constant change of formations and struggles to score goals in the last games of the qualification. A new golden generation. In 2011 Copa America, Colombia made a good run topping the group and achieving a draw to the host nation Argentina, who were the favorites. In the next round, Colombia would be eliminated in a 2-0 loss against Peru in the extra time. The Colombian side gained Leonel Alvarez as the new coach following the resignation of Hernan Dario Gomez, but was sacked after 3 games with disappointing results, which led in the hiring of José Pekerman. The Colombian squad would break a personal qualifying best record, and raise the FIFA ranking consistently into the top 10 and allowed them to qualify for the World Cup for the first time in 16 years. Celebrations broke throughout the nation, as many naturals hailed Colombia as a dark horse towards being a World Cup contender. Often, Colombia were noted by many figures in Colombia such as Carlos Valderrama as a team that could become the most successful Colombian squad in history. 2014 World Cup. Colombia topped off the return in the 2014 World Cup after a 16-year absence by defeating Greece 3-0. Colombia then edged a 2-1 victory over Ivory Coast to dispute Group C's top spot days later. On the same day, Japan and Greece drew 0-0 and automatically qualified Colombia to the round of 16 for the first time in 24 years since the 1990 edition of the World Cup. In its final group stage game, Colombia defeated Japan 4-1 to win Group C and become the third South American team to go 3-0 in group stage in World Cup history. The Japan match also saw goalkeeper Farid Mondragon, a last active player from the country's previous World Cup appearance in 1998, become the oldest player ever to appear in a World Cup final tournament. Colombia went on to defeat Uruguay 2-0 on the 28th of June 2014 in the knockout round, securing a spot in the quarter-finals for the first time in the history. Colombia fell to the host country Brazil 2-1 in the quarter-final round in controversy, where media and figures such as Diego Maradona criticized FIFA and Carlos Velasco Carbolo for favoring Brazil and being biased in disallowing a goal from Mario Yepes and allowing too many fouls by the Brazilians to occur without any yellow cards being shown. Despite the elimination, the national team was greeted by tens of thousands of Colombians in Bogotá, welcoming them back as heroes and restoring pride to the nation. Colombia would then receive the FIFA Fair Play trophy and have James Rodriguez and Juan Cuadrado end as the World Cup's leading goal scorer and assist leader, respectively. 2015 Copa America. Colombia had a disappointing 2015 Copa America, having won only a single game during the group stage match against Brazil, with their only goal of the tournament. Colombia would then be eliminated by Argentina in the very next round by penalty shootout, ending the campaign with 1 win, 2 draws and 1 loss, as well with their only goal scored by Gilson Murillo. Would later win the tournament's Best Young Player award and added into the tournament's star sheet. Copa America Centenario. Colombia began the campaign with his 0-2 victory against host United States. Days later they sealed the qualification to the quarterfinals with a 2-1 victory against Paraguay. They however fell to Costa Rica 2-3 and finished second in the group following a complete change with 11 of the starters. On June 17, they advanced to the semi-finals with a win against Peru on penalties 4-2 in front of 79,000 fans at MetLife Stadium. Colombia would then lose to eventual tournament winners Chile following mistakes by the defense. However, Colombia won the third-place match against the host USA to seal the best result since winning the 2001 edition. Rivalries. With political issues with history, culture-related nations Ecuador and Venezuela, Colombia has always taken interest. While Colombia has natural rival matches with neighbors Ecuador and Venezuela, the matches are not as popular as the rival matches against Argentina and Brazil. The historical Colombian 5-0 victory in 1993, beating host Argentina in the 1994 FIFA World Cup qualifiers, was the very first time Argentina lost in its home stadium Estadio Monumental Antonio Vespucio Liberty during a qualifying match for a World Cup. Argentina come as a previous twice FIFA World Cup champion. It caused a huge upset and start of the respective rivalries. Unlike other rivalries full of hostility, the Colombian-Argentine rivalry is more based on respect than their hated relationship, always attracting great interest between both nations. Thus, the Colombian-Argentine rivalry has been considered unique and special. Quote, "In a way, the Colombian-Argentine relationship is viewed as sparring partners in world football." During the 2014 FIFA World Cup quarter-finals, Brazil was playing Colombia. The match ended 2-1, winning Brazil, with a wrongly disallowed goal from Colombian captain Mario Yepes that could have made the tie for Colombia. Since then, matches between the two countries have been played with great intensity and hostility. Schedule and results. Win, draw, loss. 2016 players. Current squad. The following 23 players were called up for the Copa America Centenario squad. Caps and goals updated as June 25, 2016 after the match against United States. Recent call-ups. The following players have been recently called up in the last 12 months. Individual records. Bold denotes players still playing international football.